What is up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Footy with the Boys. We have Mike here. Mike, what's that kit you got on?
Little New York
Oh,
Cosmos,
new,
throwback to the NASL days, Pele and Co.
when the real goat came to American soccer? Was that what we were talking?
Yeah, the goat who didn't take off a month for injury. Messi.
Yeah, he wrote
Share
down
something?
some extra goals once
Yeah.
his records were broken.
Allegedly had a hamstring injury, but I
Allegedly,
don't know. Allegedly.
allegedly, Miami might be in trouble. Nick, what about you? You have a hoodie on. That's not a very good kit, I'd say.
Yeah, dude, laundry day, you know what I mean? So we out here. But I'm
Yeah, having
comfy,
to
I'm
this
feeling
off.
good and I'm happy to be here.
He's got a
Good,
prime Messi
good.
jersey
Well,
underneath that.
We're happy to
Yeah.
have you.
yeah, he does have
You
a kid
should
on. It's
see
just
the
under
jersey I
that,
have underneath. It's
and
crazy.
he just doesn't want to show it.
It's actually signed.
But
Mhm.
it's signed, game worn Messi jersey from the World Cup final, actually.
Yeah.
But we'll show it at the end
Rumor
of the
has
episode, so stay tuned. And if you're listening to the audio, you will not see jack shit. So
it.
you're just gonna have to trust us. Uh, Today we do have a good episode. We are splitting our cadence into 2 episodes a week. So today we will go through the recap of what happened this previous weekend in the Premier League. We're going to run through a little bit of our Champions League preview of just kind of some of the highlights of the matches there and what we're thinking there. We'll still do our U.S. men's national team corner here. And then we have a new segment that we'll introduce at the end there to close all up. But Mike, you had a featured game here that was rather high scoring between teams that just seem to constantly give us hope against good teams and then get smashed by good teams. Aston Villa and Brighton 6-1. Bring us through it.
Yeah, first thing I could think about this match is if you're watching this video, you need to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and check out our Instagram. Other than
That's
that,
the
Yeah.
first thing
things
I
I
thought
saw
about
this
the
week.
game as well.
What a
What
fucking
God.
brilliant plug.
Very observant, very observant. Yeah, we've compared these teams a lot this year. We've kind of talked about Villa and Brighton in the same echelon of the Premier League, finishing kind of close to each other, playing not exactly the same style of football, but very attacking, very quick, energetic football. And wow, I did not expect a 6-1. I think I predicted a 3-3, if I remember correctly. There were goals on both sides, but it was just dominance from Aston Villa. Brighton didn't field their strongest squad. I know they've had a little issues with depth playing in more competitions this year. But
What
that,
did we say
you
last
know,
episode? Depth.
depth wins
Dad.
championships. Yes.
God,
And
we're so fucking smart.
it was a Unai Emery masterclass, and Ali Watkins masterclass, getting his hat trick. Um, and yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. The goals were coming from everywhere. They were coming through the middle, shots outside the box. The first goal came from Matty Cash playing a ball in, kind of burning Matoma down the line. And the one bright spot for Brighton is their loan, Ansu Fati. Got a goal, not the prettiest of goals, but it is a goal nonetheless. I don't think this is like a true scary moment for Brighton. I think they're going to be fine. I think they'll bounce back. I've said it. I think they're a bipolar team. Um, but huge win for Villa. And yeah, I I don't know what to say except good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Nick, is Ollie Watkins the most underrated striker in the Premier League?
Maybe. I mean, people. My go-to is always Evan Ferguson, but I feel like he's starting to get a little bit more love, a little more
Wow,
shine.
head to head
Uh,
here.
I
yeah, listen,
think
listen.
we were talking about Ivan Toney going to Arsenal. Maybe
Uh-huh.
you guys
What
take
is
another look at this guy,
Ollie, Ollie. Yeah, listen. I mean,
Ali Ali.
I like him better than Nketiah. So I mean, hat trick. He's really good in transition. But yeah, good player. I think I said it earlier this year too. Like Brighton's midfield transitionally really scares me. Like Brighton had a lot of the ball this game, weirdly enough, and Villa just fucking dominated them, like tore them apart in transitions. Billy Gilmore, all of a sudden, maybe not the best defensive man in the world that people have been thinking of. So yeah, I don't know.
I'm
I
thinking
like
he's one of the best in the world.
he's been getting a lot of hype, but that was a little hyperbolic, I guess. But yeah, transitionally, that's where Villa's strength is, and that's where Brighton's like biggest weakness is. So um honestly, yeah, it's a big result. Are these teams like 5 goals apart in quality? No, obviously not. But big win for Aston Villa. I think they've won like 4 out of 5 now. Like they're on a good run right now. And yeah, look at that. Top 5 in the table. Um yeah, it's gonna be them, Brighton, West Ham, Man U, those teams kind of fighting for those Europa League spots. So those are important 3 points against some rivals. So well done to Villa. Another smattering this week. I mean, we had the 8-0 last weekend, 6-1 now, so pretty insane. But yeah,
Gotta go.
Ollie Watkins is a good player. I'd take him.
Yeah. Well, I think most teams at this point would take him. He's not going to be left out of many squads at this point.
Man
The
City
way
wouldn't.
he's scoring. Yeah, that might be one. But I think this game just solidifies that you kind of have the top four of the City, Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool, and then I think you have a really strong kind of second tier, maybe some foreshadowing to a future episode there of an Aston Villa, Brighton, Newcastle, West Ham. We'll see if they can kind of stay in that same echelon. But those three teams have now all traded wins against each other and kind of dominated in those games that they've traded against each other. So it
Yeah.
just shows that they're kind of there to stay. That their place in there. It's not, oh, this team is immediately better than them. They're kind of all trading wins there. But I think that's just kind of the new Premier League. Is there's so many good teams, so much good money and management that you're seeing these teams kind of rise, and it's going to be a little bit more like a championship, I think, where you're going into weekends and you're not sure who's going to be winning, other than like Man City. But
I was
If you're
sure
a
this
that
betting
week.
was
man,
My lock was correct, so I was sure this week.
yeah.
if you're a
Speaking of
betting man, these teams are playing each other. Stay away. I mean, Newcastle 6-1, Villa, Brighton 3-0 against Newcastle, Villa 6-1 against Brighton. It's absurd. I don't even know what to think about it. I mean, these teams are not that far away in quality, and then they just blow each other out of the water.
I think they just both play fully at each other. So when teams get a goal, they have to open back up on the other side, and it continues the stream if it's happening. But another large goal game here, Nick, was your Gooners 4-0 versus the Cherries of Bournemouth. No Tyler Adams available for this. He actually
Ah,
got re-injured. Nick, take us away on this one.
yeah, dude, big result. I think I tossed a text in our group chat like the season starts today. That was a little bit closer to the Arsenal that we know. Still not fully there, especially with all the injuries, but yeah, freaking Mikel Arteta, bro. Talking he like pressers all week talking about people not training, yada yada yada. Saka, Saliba, and Declan Rice, who people didn't even think would make the trip to Bournemouth. All three of them start. All three of them play very well. Saka's starting. I mean, he's got 9 goal and assists so far this season. Like he is turning into just like his average days. He's on the score sheet, and that's what like elite players do. So
He
he's
just
turning
is
into just
cemented elite at this point.
output machine, um, and always getting doubled up on the wing too. Like it's not even like he's just has space to roam. So baller, real baller, really happy there. Eddie didn't do much again. We don't have to go into it though, because it's a happy episode. I'm once again fucking outstanding at like how Declan Rice is able to hold together a midfield of Havertz and Odegaard. Like to the quality that he has is insane. And I've said it a couple times. I like this Bournemouth team. I actually thought Bournemouth played pretty solid in this 4-0 result. Like I don't think the scoreline flattered Arsenal, but Bournemouth played well, so I was pretty happy. And the big news, Ty getting off the marks here in the season, gets his goal. Really, really cool to see them give him that pen. I was honestly kind of upset when they didn't give him the first pen. I was like, come on, like it's Bournemouth away. We're already winning. Just give him some confidence. But hey, we got a second one. So they gave it to Kai. Odegaard went over and gave it to him. And that celebration, you can like see like the sigh of relief like off his shoulders. The away fans singing his song that he has. Yeah, really happy for him. I've been like quietly impressed with Havertz this season. Like he's been lacking in clinical moments, but I actually think he's been playing pretty well and adapting to the system pretty solid. So happy about that. Happy to see some of the Hale End boys get on at the end. Reese Nelson, Neil Smith Rowe. Overall, just a really good day for the boys. And all eyes turn to Champions League midweek and of course the big city game next week.
To absolutely dump on that, Mike, it seemed a bit make-a-wish to give him that penalty, and they're all celebrating as if he was like a player's child that kicked the ball in through the net at the end of the game. Is that the same vibe you got from Kai's first goal?
I could see that, but I think it's a little bit more loving than that. I think they really like Kai. I think he's liked by the team. I think he's liked by Arteta, and that goes down to Arteta. He continues to pick him and continues to start him in that midfield.
Dude,
I think he
he works
likes what
his
he sees.
ass off.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the goals will come, the assists will come. He's a quality player, um, and yeah, that's something you should do to give your guy a little bit of confidence, a little bit of love. And I want to throw a little bit of props to Nketiah. Obviously, doesn't end up on the score sheet, but he won that first penalty. Really crappy tackles from Bournemouth to give up both of those
Yeah, bro.
penalties.
That's the
Late,
big issue.
missed the ball on both. You really don't even have an argument.
Mm-mm.
The ref didn't even need to use VAR for either one. They were so blatant. And then
Yeah.
one question for you, Nick, as a gunner. Mostly last year and even the beginning of this year, we saw Bukayo Saka as your main man for the penalties and takes neither one, which could potentially be in a hat trick. Is that something that just kind of changes on a day-to-day basis, or you think he's really not your first choice anymore?
No, it is. He's still the guy. I think
We took
I
it
forget
versus
what game earlier.
Tottenham.
Yeah, for sure. I forget what game earlier this year, but basically Odegaard just took it and Saka was like, okay. And after the game, Arteta's like, yeah, like that's up to the players. It's Saka's penalty to take. So it's just up to the players. Odegaard took the first one. And I think Saka was gonna take this one, but then Odegaard talked to him and Gabby, and they're like, let's give it to Kai. Which again is the right move. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's cool. Honestly, that doesn't worry me at all. What really worries me is that he's fucking getting hobbled every single game, and Arteta just refuses to ever give him a rest. Like honestly, this felt like a good game to let him rest before the Champions League and Man City coming up. Like especially with already a knock, I was really surprised to see him start. And like you see, like 70th minute, he had to come off like a bit limping. At this point, I just expect him to play whenever. Like I don't like
The
I don't know when
player
he
thing
won't.
though, where he's asking to
Yeah,
play.
yeah, but I mean, at a certain point, you got to protect your guy, especially when Reese has been playing really well. Um, and I mean, you still have Jesus, and I mean, he loves Nketiah, so you could still start Nketiah. Like, I don't know. I thought he should have rested him, but rewards the manager with a goal, I guess. So hopefully he's all right.
Hopefully, some big games coming up for the mighty Arsenal.
Sir.
Another big game though was Liverpool and Spurs. A whole lot of action, uh,
Okay.
but not just on the field. A whole lot of debate afterwards due to some pretty terrible refereeing uh, mistakes.
Dude,
Seems like that's been
terrible
happening a little
doesn't.
bit
Oh my
more
god.
this season, where we're seeing apologies after the fact of missed calls. Like we saw that with Onana in that first week against Wolves, that they completely missed that penalty. I know Tim Ream said on his podcast that they came out to him and said, "Hey, we were wrong on your penalty." Seems like they're getting things a bit more wrong. This one, obviously, crazy game. Really could have changed it. It ends up 2-1 to Tottenham with a 90th plus six own goal from Joel Matip. But Mike, I'll go to you first. Thoughts on one the game, but two just how the refs are kind of changing the game here, and it seems like they've been making more mistakes this year than usual.
I mean, it's absurd. It's absolutely ridiculous. There's no excuse. And it's not an isolated event, like we said. It's several games throughout the year. It seems to be that Liverpool's on the wrong end of it a lot. And I'm not going to say there's any sort of bias. I mean, Liverpool is as big a team as any. If they're going to get some refs on their side, I mean, I don't think they were just on Tottenham's side. I think it was just a mess. The Curtis Jones tackle, it's not a red card. His foot's on the ball, it slips off, it goes into a guy's leg. And when you
Wait,
have the
Curtis
ability to
Jones one
review,
you don't think is a red card?
Yeah,
no,
you're crazy.
that's just
That's such a red card.
You're
What the fuck are you talking about? He
No.
went through his leg.
it's not a
Can
straight
you
red.
bring up the picture of that
Ridiculous.
foul? Curtis Jones
He
If
went
you
red
look at
card?
the call,
through his leg.
I'm not alone on this. So Curtis Jones goes
You're
into the
I'll look for it.
tackle. His
Bro,
foot's
look.
on top of the ball. On
It
top of
does
the
not
ball.
matter if you're going with
It
cleats
rolls
up into
off.
the shin.
It's not intentional.
Dude, look. Okay, wait, shut up.
Look,
Just stop talking and look
That
at the
picture
picture.
does no
matter if
justice. That's
you
the worst
nick the
angle.
top
You
of the
have to
ball and you
look
go
up. It's not a nick. It's a terrible call.
studs up no matter what, you cannot do. Studs up through the ball and into the player's ankle is not, you can't do that.
That's how you snap legs, bro.
He looked
that's
like he both broke both of his fucking knees here.
Okay.
Just saying.
Yes. Does it look like a bad tackle from that picture? Yes.
Yes.
Is it unfortunate that cleats go into the leg? Yes. Is it a straight red card?
That's
No.
not
I stand by
unfortunate.
that.
Foul is what it is.
When you go in, you're 100%
such-
on the ball, and your cleats slip off and go into the leg. That's not a straight red card. It's not.
Dude, of course it is. You're such an IM player for thinking this. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? He
a
went
It's
while.
not.
through
I
his
will
leg.
stand by that.
Through his
Okay.
leg. Like, what are you talking
Cleat
about?
up.
That
If he
aside,
poked with his toe and it went into the leg, yeah, it's probably not, but it's still about going straight up, cleats up into the shin like that. That breaks a leg. That's a red card.
watch the tackle. It's not a red card.
Dude,
But that being said,
Are we serious with
even
this
if
video?
they call it a red card, the rest of the mistakes they make through the game are
God damn it.
even more
worse.
egregious.
Everything else was worse. This,
Even
okay,
more
whatever. You don't
egregious.
think this is a red? Whatever. The rest of the game, like, we need to move on to the rest of the game because the rest of the game is
Yes.
fucking ridiculous.
Luis
Oh my
Diaz
god.
is obviously onside. There's
Oh my god.
miscommunication between the VAR ref and the center ref on the
Palmer,
field.
the
He
most
thinks it's a
recent tweet
goal.
on Discord.
All
He
right.
thinks it's a goal on the field, so he doesn't even draw the lines. He says, "Oh yeah, check over, goal upheld,
This
but
one?
the call on the field is offsides." And then they
Is
can't
that it?
review it because it's
Yeah.
already been done.
Oh my god.
So that's ridiculous. And then
How do you just like not stop the game? Like,
I
How do you
I-
let the
I
game
don't
go on
understand it.
if
like
you're having
when
this
you
confusion and
see,
be like, "Wait, no, I meant the goal stands."
yeah, when
Yes.
you see like them getting
Like,
ready to take the
all in.
offside kick, like what the fuck are you doing? Just stop the game right there. Be like, yes, it was a goal. This is such bullshit. Like this is corruption. Like let's not get it
That
twisted.
is
This isn't
corruption.
human error. This is something happened in the background. I don't know
I don't
when the
understand.
documentary is gonna come out for this, but like some shit happened, like money
Oh,
exchange
that
hands.
person's immediately fired.
I
Dude,
Why
don't
would they not
understand
speak up about that?
the VAR ref. The miscommunication that makes no sense to me.
it's a
I
bullshit
assume the
explanation. That's
VAR
why.
gets the call on the field. And if he doesn't get the call on the field, then double check. It takes 2 seconds. But instead, they do the quickest VAR check I've ever seen, and no goal.
Well, he said
Absolutely
check
robbery.
complete here, but
Check complete.
like,
And then
And-
even
continuing in the
even
game,
like, oh my gosh,
Diogo Jota's red card, it's not a red card. The second yellow, he makes no contact with the player. It's absolutely ridiculous. Liverpool got
Okay, so
three calls against them that could determine the outcome of a game in one
look,
game.
here's the thing. With Yota's, we got to go back to this Diaz goal because it's fucking ridiculous. But with Yota's, like 20 seconds ago, he did make a stupid challenge to get an easy yellow. Like, why are
Deserved.
you lunging in? Why are you lunging in like that in the first place on a yellow? You're right, he didn't make contact, but from the ref's angle, like I can see, like stuff like that happens all the time. Like a yellow for
those
that tackle.
get given as yellows all the
Yes.
time.
Yeah, that
But on
happens.
top of it, it just looks
Yeah.
even worse.
But the Louis, like this year has been like marred by having the lines drawn and like they're like, oh, the technology is perfect. Like even with there was a controversial one, right, in the Arsenal Man U game with Gabriel like Michael Jackson his way to an offside trap. And they're like, all right, well, the lines, like that's it. Like that's all like that is 100% true. The lines, okay, so why not use the lines on every single one? And then we have very clear fucking decisions to make. And then to go back to that tweet, that bullshit thing to say after the game, like that does nothing to nobody. To say something like, "Oh, we thought that the goal was given, so we're good." Like, in what world is that what you're gonna go with? Like, at
You
that point,
can't.
you should say
Right.
nothing at all because it's
Yes.
clear corruption. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's
It's
just so
insane.
wild that they thought the goal was given, so they thought it was good, so they say that. Why then, if you see them then playing the ball in like 2 seconds
Exactly,
later,
bro.
are you not immediately like, hey, wait, no, no, no,
In
no,
his
no,
earpiece.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, like there's just so many breakdowns where it's like, why would somebody not be like, hey, there's like 5 people in that fucking room for VAR. One of you say, hey, they're not listening to what we said.
Flags, and that you fucking nailed it right there. Because if that was the real reason that happened, like a bullshit miscommunication, whatever. We know refs are the biggest fucking idiots in the world. But the second you see play go on as like returning from an onside kick, like, are you hitting? Like, just blow it dead and say, "Oh, we thought it was a goal." That's why it clearly didn't fucking happen. Like, that's a bullshit ass excuse to let go because they know like how fucking it was corrupt. Like I know there's shouts for corruption all the time in football, but I mean, like,
I don't know if
I
it's
I
corrupt.
am
I
a
think it's just
hundred percent. I'm a
stupid.
hundred percent convinced. I'm 100% convinced that this was bullshit.
I
I
was
saw
also
a
thinking
further
Serie
article as
A has
well.
a much
Uh,
better
Go ahead,
offsides
Bryce.
like technology. Like watching Serie A, it's like they show the ball the second it's kicked where the plane of the last defender is all the way up and show exactly if the body's across, if it's not. On
Yeah, they
every
use that in the
offsides, it's
Euros,
so
right, or
easy.
something like that, or in the World Cup.
Yeah, but Premier League's not using it, so it's just like you are the biggest league in the world. Why are you behind on any type of technology at all?
It's because fucking handshake deals happen in the back of the room because they need to be able to get away with shit. It's ridiculous.
They're doing a Barca, it sounds like.
It's terrible.
The fix is
Arsenal
in.
Champions League winners? Ah, ah.
I mean, yeah, the ramifications this has on the rest of the season could be huge as well, with how much these points matter, especially against a Tottenham who's going to compete for those top 4 spots.
And
I
Liverpool, who
mean,
was,
three
I mean,
I
points,
will
one
say,
point,
they would
that
have
could
been
be
in
the
first if they
difference
won.
between a Champions League spot and not.
I will say,
Yeah.
I think that's wrong. Like I think the season's going to play out, and the top three teams are going to distance themselves a bit from Spurs. There is a like 10-man Liverpool before they went to 9. 10-man Liverpool could have won this game pretty. Like like it was still like they honestly should have won that game 10-man without Yoda being a moron. So I think the scoreline flatters Tottenham. It's something that's going to like give them more belief, which is a good thing for like a young team that's building something good. But like Tottenham is not. Uh, I'm not worried about them at all making like any sort of real top three charge.
With this
My
result, though,
last
you
thoughts on
see
the
it.
game.
Oh, go ahead.
I feel really bad for Joel Matip. Played a very good game, and then
Such a good
absolutely
game, bro.
bangs one top corner. A striker's finish into his own goal.
Dude, I was gonna text you that because he was balling. He was playing so well.
You got to feel for him, and you got to feel for Allison, who that save he made against James Madison is
Oh my god.
early contender for save of the season. That was disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of crazy goals, Szoboszlai for Liverpool in the Europa League hit a crazy screamer top ends.
Carabao Cup. Carabao Cup.
Is that Carabao Cup? Okay, I knew it
Yeah,
was a
I
midweek
know what you're
competition.
talking about though.
It's like
That
the same thing. Carabao
was
Cup
an
or
absolute
Nick's
roofer.
putting out the second Arsenal's out. He goes, "Yeah, that little scrub competition couldn't be there.
listen, we never belong there.
You guys
But that was
probably
a
didn't. You
banger.
guys weren't doing too hot in there either." All of a sudden. But speaking of teams chasing titles and all these top teams fighting for every last point, we had a title favorite Wolves beating lowly Man City 2-1. and it was the Korean guy
The
that
Korean guy.
scored the winner here. Pep Guardiola did not know his name before. He certainly does now. Nick, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what this means, not just for Man City and their points, but I think it shows a little bit of belief, at least in my heart, for the rest of the league to challenge Man City for that title.
Look, you lose two world-class players in Rodri and De Bruyne, you're gonna fall off a little bit, obviously. Um, Man City honestly still could have won this game. I thought this was the first time they ever looked like defensively shaky.
Could have.
The chances they created were like solid. Like honestly, their goal came out of just brilliance from Julian Alvarez, like fucking beautiful free kick. Goal of the week, if you ask me. That was insane. Or actually, honestly, Joachim Anderson's. We'll talk about his later. But I think it opened. This is two losses in a row for City. It's coming at a bad time for them. They're gonna have to play in the Champions League, and then they're gonna have to play Arsenal. And huge for Wolves, huge for the Korean guy. Uh, let's be honest.
Korean.
He he knew
Let
the
me
name,
chant.
right? He knew the name. He just didn't want to butcher it. Like that has to be it. There's no way Pep is out here just calling
He
people
may
the
have known
Korean.
probably part of it and didn't want to guess it.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I'm
he kind
saying. Like he
Yeah.
had to actually know it because I think commentators just call him Huang, right? Like if I'm correct, or do they call
I
him
mean,
Chan? I forgot.
you can say kind of both because like you can switch which ones. Kind of like Youngmin
Yeah.
Son. You can just say Son,
Yeah.
Youngmin Son.
they switch the order all
Either
the time.
either way, like it's just I it's that's why football's so beautiful. Like that presser to happen and then for him to score that goal. Good counterattacking by Wolves, I will say, on both of their goals. So that's kind of cool. Even like the own goal, like Neto created it, like that was all Neto. So, yeah, really, really well done. Really happy. Obviously, 1 point off of the leaders now, keeping pace. This is exactly where I'd want Arsenal to be. But yeah, Man City, I think a little vulnerable. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Mike?
Um, I mean, yeah, they don't have Rodri in the middle of the field, which is it is a difference maker. They have guys who are quality, very quality players with
Listen,
Nunez and Calvin
Kovacic
Phillips.
Nunes like is not a world beater midfielder, like midfield pivot.
It's not a world beater, but it's also way better than whatever Wolves has to offer. So you
Yeah,
can't
for
go
sure.
down to like player selection for losing this game. They should have
No,
won the
but those
game.
were their best options. That was Pep's best options. That's what I'm saying. Like you lose Rodri and all of a sudden not so great.
Yeah,
I think
it, it doesn't
it
look
makes
like a
them not
diamond.
like invincible because when they had Rodri and De Bruyne, it's like
Who's
one of
beating this
those can
team?
just at any moment create a world class chance where it's like, okay, yeah, how are you going to defend that? Now it's like Kovacic, Nunez. It's like you're not necessarily on the edge of your seat every time they have the ball.
No, definitely not.
Yeah,
I like
but they
But
both
I
players
mean,
still.
though. But
Nunez was most likely Wolves' best player before City bought him, and
yeah,
so right, like the Rodri argument doesn't excuse Man City losing this game.
no.
There's no excuse with the talent they
There's
still
no
have,
excuse.
but
But I know what you're saying when they go play the harder teams, when they play Arsenal next weekend and they play Champions League this week. Yeah, it'll be a huge difference maker. That's true.
Well, I
I
think
do
Rodri can
think
play
though
in
that
the week, right? Like he can play in Champions League.
He should, right?
yeah,
I don't think he
Yeah.
has any sort of suspension.
No.
yeah. I think though that these are the games where almost Man City will suffer more. I think they have obviously you just said, Mike, like, there's no excuse. Look at the talent they have. They're still insanely good. I think if Wolves were a bigger game, if it was Champions League, if it was somebody who's a bigger named opponent, I don't think they drop this. I think Man City, and I think we've seen it already with some of the times they've needed late heroics, and sometimes they just flip it on and score four in a row, and you're like, okay, well, never mind. I guess it's not. But I think they've started to sleep a little bit on these smaller teams, knowing that we are just miles better. And I think this was a bit of a wake up call to them. Like, we can't always wait to turn it on and just blow a team out of the water at the end because teams can sit back and they can get something on the break like this, even if they do get an equalizer like Alvarez had.
I agree with what you're saying, but also like without Rodri and De Bruyne, they don't have a player that's gonna like break. Like in these moments, I don't. That switch is a lot harder to get when you're playing like a 10 deep block.
Yeah.
Like because Haaland is not a creator. He's the best finisher in the world and still the best striker in the world, but he's not pulling stuff like usually out of nowhere. He's relying on
He has like
others.
20 touches a game.
Need
He's
service. Yeah.
not that
Yeah,
great
and
much.
so I mean, you look at this team like Doku's fast and tricky, but I mean, he's not necessarily a creator for other people as much as like exciting moments for himself. Grealish on the bench, Julian Alvarez like is incredible, but he can't do it all. I honestly don't know if this is two losses in a row. I can't tell if this is like good for Arsenal, like oh they're in bad form, or bad because like they're gonna be so fucking pissed that they lost 2 games in a row that they're just
Yeah,
gonna
I
like
don't
fall.
It seems wrong to say they've lost 2 in a row because that Carabao Cup, they did not give a fuck. They had so
Okay,
many random players in their 11, but
Oscar Bob.
Oscar,
Love that name.
bad.
The
stupid
Danish
name.
legend.
But
But they lost two. They lost 2 in a row. I'd say.
I kind of thought Grealish should have started this game. I think he
I
offers
agree.
more of a service, and I think he makes a Holland better. He lets Alvarez be more of a striker because he's kind of playing that De Bruyne role. I mean, he's playing in that position at least. He's not playing it the same way, but Doku is a straight up winger who's going to beat guys off the dribble, and Grealish is not that kind of player. He's looking for passes. He tracks back. I
Dude, but
I
I don't.
I thought that was a tactical error.
The tactical error wasn't Doku Grealish. It was Grealish Foden. Foden is not a fucking winger, and I'm sick of seeing him play out there.
I think
And
Foden, when they're playing a low block, can get in between better. I think Doku is like it's a
did
very
he?
good.
Because Foden has had one
Not
good
his
game all
game, but I'm
year,
saying
and people
generally
keep talking about how Foden's this generational whatever. I get he's ultra talented, but like let's not act like he's been honestly Bukayo Saka. Like he's not that level,
I
and
think comparing him to Bukayo Saka is still Bukayo Saka is a certified elite player. Like Phil Foden is still insanely good,
listen,
especially in tight spaces.
Foden
Good dribbling.
in this team should play the 10, but Alvarez is playing better than him at the moment. And so like he should hold bench. Put Doku and Grealish, and I think that's the better lineup in this scenario. Now, I mean, at the end of the day, they still brought Grealish on and nothing happened. So I don't want to say like it was all a tactical error. And Wolves played a fucking game. Can we give a fucking shout out to Craig Dawson, bro? Oh my god. He had as good a game as Matip had. I think Dawson played like incredibly well. He denied Holland like in an empty net situation, I think like end of the first half. I mean, for this guy to be his age with his hair to do what he's doing, like baller. That dude, mad respect. He's sick.
Shout out Dawson. Could be used other places. Maybe Manchester United will need another center back because they seem to just continue to let goals in and they cannot score them. They lose to Crystal Palace 1-0. I don't think they looked impressive versus Burnley the previous week. Now they lose to Crystal
Nope.
Palace. Eric Ten Hag has excuses after excuses.
Fuck that
The
guy.
wheels are starting to turn off here. Who has the
Wheels are starting to
hotter
fly off.
opinion out of you two?
Who has what? What?
I want a hot take here. I want a
You want a hot
controversial
take?
take.
Bruno Fernandes
No,
is shit. That's my take. God. We
no,
talked
no,
about it
Nick. I
last
want
week.
something controversial. Not everybody thinks. Mike.
Crystal Palace finish higher than Manchester United this season. That's my controversial
Yeah,
take.
they currently are high.
Man, you dismantled them in Carabao Cup earlier this week.
A rotated side. Jeffrey
A
Schlupp was
rotated
playing the
side.
10.
I know. And they come out here and it looked like they expected to do it again. They have some weird stuff going on with their squad. Aroundbot finally getting into the team, playing out
left
a
back.
left back. Yeah, I mean, I get that they are limited with their fullback options right now with a lot of injuries, but that's a strange one, man. I know he comes up into the midfield, but that team, they look like shit. And
Good way
they're
to summarize.
the guy who looks like he's going to score most is Casemiro, who is playing in the deep pivot midfield, and he is not
He is class and
an
nobody else is.
attacking oriented player.
They're in
Honestly,
terrible
the
form.
second best chance. Like, okay, to be fair, Fernandes did have one good shot and a pretty good save by Johnston. Uh, but uh, but honestly, Varane was their next most threatening player. He had a couple headers on target. like, like just
I got
some
another hot
top
take
shit
for you,
team,
Flags.
bro.
Huh? Let's
Another
hear
hot
it.
take. Um, Marcus Rashford last season was a fluke. We had talked about him before last season. He was
Oh,
kind of crappy, not finding the form that he had when he really broke into the team a number of years ago. And then he had an excellent season last year. And now he's back to one goal on the season and not looking super threatening. Um, and I think it kind of comes down to his attitude, dude. When I watch guys like Marcus Rashford play, you can see how they carry themselves on the field. And you can see it in their face, you can see it in their posture, you can see it in the way they're talking to their teammates, or in his example, not talking to his teammates. He looks shut out, and I think this is a fall. It's going to be a fall in form, and I think it's going to be something he doesn't recover from.
See, I think this is a bit of a Marcus Rashford paradox here, and let me explain here. Marcus Rashford is not a pass first, pass second, or pass third type of winger. He is like so many times you see him just dribble into the box. It's beautiful. He gets a good shot off. And you're like, wow, he is so dangerous. And when it's working, everybody's thinking, oh my god, he's so good. But when it's not, you're thinking, why is he not crossing it? Why is he not trying to find another teammate? And I think right now, if you look, defenders are not being drawn away from Rashford. He's not getting that much isolation because nobody's extremely worried about Hoyland. Nobody's extremely worried about Police Tree on the other side. They're not being drawn away and like all their attention is skewed away from Marcus Rashford so he can do his low dribbles. They're able to focus on him. They know he's not really going to be the best passer, and so he's able to get shut down. I think that's why he's not doing so hot is somewhat of his teammates, and that he just plays that way.
Kind of a one-dimensional style of play.
Yeah.
he's definitely one dimensional. I still think he's really dangerous. I think he's a real threat.
Oh, definitely.
This team sucks dick, so
That's
like you
true.
can't really afford a player like him on, on the current squad and form of the squad. Like he is definitely someone who needs other people around him, like Flag said, like to kind of take the attention away from him. If he's the main man, like we've seen this story for 3 years now with Man U, like when he's the main man, it's not going to work. It's just not. So Hoyland, who supposedly was the godsend, still not on the score sheet. I don't know. I still think he plays well, but goals aren't coming, which is kind of what you need as a striker. So
I think it's
especially
more
on
down
this
to the
team,
midfield on that though. They need somebody who's
he
like you
he
said, Bruno
wasted a big
Fernandes
chance.
playing super creative balls, and Mason Mount is a hustle merchant. Casemiro is a deep lying center mid.
Dude,
Like
actually,
he's
I don't hate Mason Mount in this team. It's just like he can't be the creator of a team, but like the role that he's playing right now, I think is fine. Um, again, I don't think Bruno Fernandes creates enough for other players, so I'm gonna die on that hill. But Hoyland did waste a big chance. Like they had a turnover like deep in Crystal Palace's territory. He could have made a pass and like just blasted it over on his left foot. So like it's not all the rest of his team. But yeah, back to Rashford. Not only is he like not clicking right now, like a really streaky player, and when it's going well, it's going well. But he also offers nothing defensively. Like the man does not track at all. He like part of Ten Hag's system is like this like being able to press part like deep into their territory, win the ball back high, and it's not working because every player has to be bought in for it to work. And he is 100% not bought into that system. Still their most
he may
dangerous
have lost
player,
the
so I
locker.
get what's that?
I think he may have lost the locker room. That might be why. Is
Yeah,
I think people
totally.
are
I
starting
mean,
to against all the excuses.
he's a
Running
fucking
Jadon
fraud.
Sancho
I
He's a
don't
fraud.
Rashford's never been that guy, period. Like of being able to like counter
Full
press.
of
Like that's
double
not his game.
standards. Eric Ten
Yeah.
Hag is.
Ten Hag's a fucking
I
fraud, dude.
also
Like,
see
ugh.
so many people when they talk about the Jadon Sancho thing, saying, "Oh, if Pep Guardiola did this. He did it to Cancelo, and everybody thinks he's so amazing." One, Pep is winning while he's doing this. Two, Pep isn't saying excuse after excuse, along with having these feuds with his players. Erik ten Hag has not taken responsibility of, hey, I got the tactics wrong. We need to be able to do this. He doesn't have an answer. He has excuses. That's the big difference between people saying, well, everybody has some type of issues with players in their locker room. You
Also,
need to have the
Pep wasn't calling for public apologies either. Like he was like, "All right, we're going with our best 11. We'll focus on these guys." Like he's like begging Sancho to forgive him, and Sancho's like, "You're a fucking idiot." Like, what are you talking about?
And also, Pep is established as one of the greats of all time, and he can afford to drop a João Cancelo. Looking at this Manchester United team, you can't afford to drop Jadon Sancho. No offense to Facundo Pellistri, but that dude is not. He shouldn't be starting in the Premier
Look,
League. He's not
I
ready for it.
don't. If
Manchester United at least.
I
I
mean,
don't know if
it's the same.
I don't know. Can he start for Chelsea? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. Like if Sancho actually is having attitude issues or whatever. I think like there was rumors of that at Dortmund too. And honestly, I don't really care. The way he's handled it publicly is what has me wrong. Because if you remember, Arteta dropped Aubameyang, like stripped him from the captaincy, like shipped him away, like, and that team could not afford dropping Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at the time. So I'm okay making those big decisions, but then you got to like man up to it and like show you got the stones, not just bitch in the media about it and blame your losses for that. Like it's he's if I'm a Man U fan, I'm calling for his job.
Yeah, I
100%.
think had enough.
As an Arsenal fan, long may he stay.
Long
You would
may he
hope.
reign.
You would hope that he reigns a little longer. Speaking of some poor results, probably don't need to talk on it too long here. Everton 1, Luton 2. Anyways, next game was
Shut up. Go back.
oh god, what a god awful game. Everton had so many chances in this game, but the finishing of Everton is one of the most god awful things I've ever seen. Every header that our strikers take, they are heading it up. Why are you trying to head it up to the top fucking corner? Everybody at any level, like U5, they teach you head the ball down and into the ground. And they are heading it for the goddamn top bins like it's a F2 free. Like, oh, Mike, feel free to rant as well here.
Horrible, man. Absolutely horrible. Um, Credit to Luton. They came out swinging. They scored a couple decent goals, but we look like shit. I mean, creatively, we took it to them in the first 20 minutes. A couple of good chances, a couple of good shots from outside the box. But like you said, our best chances to score are always balls in the air, and we rely on our tall strikers, DCL, now Beto, now Denjuma. Beto, oh my, get him out. I know we just bought the guy. Sell him right away.
See if there's
Dude's
a
head
refund.
is, it's a dome, and it's just, there's no traction. He must grease up his head with like Vaseline because the ball just slips off and goes straight up into orbit. He didn't look threatening at all. I didn't think he would score. I wanted to put him at center back, dude. He's hitting defensive clearances in front of goal. Like, laughable. Um, Brought on Danjuma way too late. That dude needs to be in the rotation more often.
Jack
And
Harrison needed to be starting. He was
Jack Harrison definitely needs to be starting.
the only creation we had for the final 30 minutes. It was kick it to Jack Harrison, deep ball, and let him dribble and get a cross in and see what the hell happens. And what the hell happened was headers into Rosette. It was Jesus.
Yeah, the way I
Jesus,
see it,
indeed.
uh, I'm blaming team selection a little bit. Sean Dyke, when you're going classic 4-4-2, I don't understand this like need to play Doucouré like so much higher up. I'd go Doucouré and Garner in the middle. I think or sorry, Doucouré and Onana in the middle. I actually like Garner, but he's not a wide player. Although I actually think he could do a job at right back, but Ashley Young is playing well. Listen, it's just like they gave us hope last week. I like this Everton team still. I think they'll do better. I do think though you need some real wingers in order to create some more chances. I'd start then Yuma and Jack Harrison on the wings next week. Um, I guess you can trade Dan Yuma and McNeil, but if McNeil's not working, you got to get Dan Yuma in quicker. So I don't know. Embarrassing. Luton fucking sucks, and to let them not only that you lost, but you let them score twice. Like it's
At
embarrassing
home. At
at
Goodison, dude.
home at
At Footy
Goodison.
Park, yeah.
This
It's a
can't
dog shit
happen.
team. They did not look good, and Everton made them look better than they are. So yeah, embarrassing on all fronts.
Very
Mike,
embarrassing.
one positive though for you this week. You got your score prediction right on West Ham Sheffield. It was 2-0. Not
It
exactly like
was.
this is the most exciting matchup here. I would say Sheffield in any matchup is not giving much excitement for fans. But how does it feel to hit the 2-0 prediction?
Feels good. And I felt confident about that pick. I mean, West Ham easily could score more goals this game. Like that could happen. Um, but I got it right on the money, and hopefully many more to come.
Bowen
Nick,
on the
is
score sheet
Sheffield
again, right?
still shit?
Yep, they're bad. They're bad. They're gonna
Yep.
get
Yep.
relegated. So's Luton.
Really bad.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They tried, and
Jared
that's half the
Bowen though,
battle.
man in
Good
form,
luck.
man on fire.
Good
He
player.
actually might be one of the most underrated players. Speaking of like Ollie Watkins, Jared Bowen, underrated 11 for sure.
Both those
And
players deserve a call up.
he's a warrior. He's fun to watch. I mean, his style of play, so energetic, so attacking minded. Yeah, I mean,
Dude,
he's a really
and
good guy.
he's more technically gifted than people give him credit for. I know we gave him his flowers a couple weeks ago, but he's a fucking good
Yes,
player.
I just don't think
that's true.
he necessarily comes across branding wise as the most technically gifted. I think you have to actually watch him, and that's where the underrating comes in. Speaking of underrating, we're not underrating Burnley. They just might suck. 2-0 loss. Excuse me, 2-0 loss to Newcastle. They 1 point. They are tied on points with Sheffield. Kind of had some hope for them coming into the year with Vincent Company. They had a crazy, crazy good year in the championship. They have not shown any of that yet. Nick, can Burnley turn it around at all? And Newcastle getting another, I don't know, big result, but continue to keep on pace.
Yeah, I mean they're trying to play good football. It's just their team sucks. So I like you almost first year in the Prem, you might almost have to like shelter up a little bit more and try to play a little bit more defensive. But kudos to them for trying. It's not going well. I still fully expect the three promoted teams to get relegated. And standard result for Newcastle, this was my lock. I think I picked 3-0, but I'll take the 2-0 win. Um, I still like this Newcastle team to finish fifth, so this game doesn't change anything like that for me. I believe Isak on the score sheet, again, one of my favorite strikers in the world, so uh, shout out to the boy.
Mike, any hope for Burnley?
Mm, I just don't think they'll have enough goals. I don't know where goals are going to come from for them. Zaruri up top, not super familiar, but I know that's their main man for the striker, or I guess Amdouni starts this game. Um, I hope Vincent Company doesn't get sacked because I don't think it's his fault. I just don't think they have the manpower,
I think he
and
will.
I don't see them beating out three of their teams. There's just not. Every other team is good enough that they're going to be better than Burnley. Um, Takeaway from this game: Miggy Almiron with a banger, great goal.
Banger.
Uh, Newcastle coming off that 8-0 win,
Keeping their
following
form?
it up with a 2-0, keeping the form. Could be more, but a comfortable win.
Yeah, I think what you may have kind of stumbled on there is maybe what's happened to the Premier League here is these teams that come up, even if it's a team like Burnley who had a record year in the championship, looks so good, so much hope. It takes at this point such a gigantic amount of money to be thrown in at year 11 to get it to the quality of the Premier League. It's turned into everybody rioted against the Super League, but this has turned into almost a Super League. The Premier League, all these teams, like if you scroll up and down this table, Plumber, you see every single one of these teams is spending millions upon millions upon millions, and we're talking all double digits, all the way down to the bottom. Like where you see Chelsea there, they spent 1 billion and they're in 15th you have every single team spending a lot of money. We can make fun of Chelsea all we want, but you see the three teams struggling so much when they come up. They don't have that crazy amount of money unless they do get bought by like a Saudi public investment fund. I think that might be an issue kind of going forward is you might see in and out constantly.
I think that's a
And
little pessimistic, man. I like let's not forget Brighton's spent like no money at all and like has done great recruiting jobs. Brentford hasn't really spent that much money. I think like Kevin Shade was their record signing this year, but he's not even like a cemented starter all the time. Like let's not I agree like money's growing and growing and growing in the Premier League and its influence is growing, but uh like that's the beauty of the Premier League. Like any team can beat any team any given week. Wolves just beat Man City after looking like the most dog shit team in the league, and they sold like a lot of their big players. So, um, yeah, I wouldn't go that far. That no like promoted team now is gonna be able to, but
I'm
um,
not saying no team, but I think it makes there a larger hurdle than ever before.
maybe, yeah, but it's definitely not this year. I'll tell you that.
no, and we saw it with Nottingham Forest, how much money they spent the last 2 seasons after being promoted. And I'm not saying they've
They
done
were
it necessarily
throwing money around. Just
exactly correct. Not all of their investments have been good ones, but their squad it's decent. It's a mid-table squad, uh, and I think the money does play into it. When you talk about Brentford and Brighton, they are the outliers, but the way they conduct business, the players they find who are undervalued and then sell, it is. I don't think you can expect other teams to have that sort of mentality because they don't do it the same way. These two teams are special.
Listen, Bournemouth
absolutely.
also hasn't spent like a ton of money. Like they stayed up last year. Bournemouth last year they didn't spend that much money. I know they spent a little bit more this summer, but like
Bournemouth,
last year they didn't.
they still spent like they're spending like 40 million a summer transfer window. That's
Who
still
did
a lot of money, especially for a newly promoted team. You're looking at
look at their
a
main men
large
though. It's Billing and Solanke, and they've been there for a while. Like it's not like Otura is a good player, but he also like was brought in pretty cheap.
They got
Leicester
Kluivert and
spent
Adams.
a fuck ton of money last year. Southampton like historically has been another team kind of like Bournemouth and Brentford. Sorry, Brighton and Brentford. So I don't know. I it can't all come down to money.
No, I don't think it all comes down to it, but I do think it makes it so that if you are promoted, you're at a bit of a disadvantage and you have to overperform compared to some of the other teams. But we'll see how that plays out. We'll see if any of these three teams that just got promoted can kind of pick up their form. Uh, Obviously, Burnley have a potential dual net American, Luka Kolyosho. Hopefully, he can turn it around and get some goals going for Burnley. And with that beautiful transition by me, speaking of an American, we'll go into the U.S. men's national team corner here. We have AC Milan boys absolutely killing it. Pulisic getting another goal this weekend, an assist in the midweek game as well. Almost a second assist in that game. He had a shot that got bounced out, and then Noah Okafor put it away. And Musa has been balling out. Came on the most recent game for an injured Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I know, shocker, that he is injured again. But Musa has absolutely taken that opportunity. Looked very good and kind of endearing himself to the Milan fans. Balogun, another good story here, heartwarming. A goal and assist for Monaco in a 3-2 win after his
Thank
two
God.
penalty misses the week before. Very good to see him. Absolute bullet of a goal, really well taken, and hoping to see that with the U.S. team here soon. Malik Tillman with a goal and assist, man of the match, coming back from his sleeping thing. And then
Yeah, good for him.
Adams been re-injured. We mentioned that earlier. And Gio Reyna has had 0 minutes since coming back from injury. Mike, is there a concern that Gio Reyna needs to leave Dortmund?
Yeah, I don't really know too much about that situation. Are they just kind of being cautious with him coming back? Is it they don't they don't select him for performance issues? They don't want him.
He's been back for about 2 weeks now and has not played a single minute other than a U23 practice game. So
Interesting.
what's going on there?
Yeah, if he's not breaking into the squad, I mean, obviously, yeah, a move would be needed. Um, he's not. I mean, he's still a very young player, but when you look at that Dortmund attack, they're not phenomenal. There's not a lot of guys who I rate higher than Gio Reyna who are starting above him. So yeah, if he's not able to get in there um, more meaningfully, maybe a move would be good.
AC Milan has been rumored. Nick, do you think Gio Reyna joining with his U.S. brothers who are killing it over at Milan would be a good move for him, or do you think he should stick it out at Dortmund and see what he can do?
So I like him at Dortmund. He needs to play a lot, and I think they've shown faith in him before. I think he'll break in there pretty quick. I will say though, last week Trace said that Tyler Adams is his favorite men's national team player. Uh, Very happy to see my favorite men's national team player, Yunus Musa, just tearing it up for AC Milan. I think he's a better player than Loftus-Cheek in general. I don't rate Loftus-Cheek too highly, even though I guess he's been on form. But I back him to hold down that spot now that he has it. Um, I fucking love
He
that
will
watching
start
that
for
guy play.
Dortmund in the midweek.
Dude, the way he progresses the ball is like at a very high
Oh,
level in world football. It's beautiful.
it's sexy, man. Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful to watch. I
Yeah,
love that
and
midfield
Tyler
pairing.
Adams, dude. Tyler Adams getting injured is oof. I mean,
It
starting
seemed
to
like it
be
was
a,
pretty
a bit of a
serious too.
trend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He said
re-aggravating.
he's gonna be out for some time again, so
I hate to see that.
yeah, yeah, it's really tough to see. Obviously, want Tyler Adams back, but I think at the moment you still have Musa McKennie, Gio Reyna coming back into the fold, Malik Tillman kind of
Oh,
hitting
Torre.
form. So you do have some options around it, and obviously with some good tests against Germany and Ghana, you'll see what the rest of the people have. And I think there was an over dependence on Tyler Adams that this almost forces you to explore other options. But Nick, back to your favorite player. We go into our Champions League preview here outside of the U.S. men's, but we don't get too far from what we were just talking about as we go to Milan and Dortmund. Gio Reyna versus Musa and Pulisic. Mike, which American's coming out with the victory there?
It's got to be Milan. I haven't seen much from Dortmund this year that makes me think they'll beat the Italians. I think Milan 3-1.
Ooh, that's a
And
where's this game at? Is it at Germany or in Italy?
it looks like it's in Dortmund.
Dortmund versus yeah, it's in Dortmund. Ah,
Yep.
give me a tie.
Iduna.
I'll say 1-1. Knights over there hit
1-1. All right.
different. Yeah, I'll take a tie. Milan's a better team, but and Dortmund's in shit form. But I don't know, man. That's a tall task. This Milan team to go over there.
I think Milan gets it. I watched a bit of Dortmund, hoping that Gio would come on. He did not, but they did not look too bright and too great. And Milan, I did watch. They did look pretty good versus a pretty decent Lazio team. Looked like they were in control the entire time. I think that's kind of how this one might go here. So I'm taking Milan probably 2-0. Mike, do you have a score prediction for them other than just Milan?
I said 3-1. I know that's a tall task to score 3 goals um, at Signal Iduna, but I think Milan will find their goal scoring form. They struggled with that against Newcastle week 1.
At St. James, same thing.
Yes, same thing. A hard place to play. The fans love the team, and I mean, Dortmund fans are some crazy bastards.
We'll say coming
Um,
back. You're used to it.
I think Pulisic, he's got a little bit of goal scoring form. Uh, I liked him on the score sheet somewhere.
I think he just played his best game for Milan since his move against Lazio here this weekend. So going in good form. Next game, this is a bit of a tightened matchup here, at least from last year. Napoli versus Real Madrid. Osimhen, I know Kvara has not been necessarily been too hot this year, but Real Madrid with Jude Bellingham, a lot of storylines around them. Nick, I'll start with you this time. Who do you got here? And maybe a quick summary of why you're led that way.
Yeah, you got to take Madrid. Better squad. Um, I saw Cava whatever finally got a goal again, so there seems like Napoli's maybe rounding back into form. But I mean, Real Madrid's a better team. I will say I do think we've rated this Real Madrid team a little bit high. They do have a pretty big hole at the 9, so I think we all took Real Madrid to win the La Liga. I might switch it to Barca there, but um, yeah, hopefully it should be a Madrid still win against this Napoli team.
Mike, you feeling the same way? It is Real Madrid. It is the Champions League.
I don't feel the same way. I think it's either a draw or a win for Napoli. Real Madrid with some super major injuries right now, especially in the defense. David Alaba just picked up an injury to go along with Eder Militao, so that kind of leaves him strapped for options in the back. Probably we'll see a pairing of like Nacho and Rudiger at center back, I think.
Rudiger is strapped for options, at least in my opinion. I don't know.
Well, Nacho, I mean he's a solid player.
Nacho,
I
yeah.
won't hate on him too much, but he's not the caliber of the other guys.
Yeah.
I like Osimhen to get a goal. Kvaratskhelia back in form a little bit, but I think Real Madrid will score. So I'll say a draw.
There's no way you
Probably
said his
one.
name.
Probably 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah,
All right.
Kavika Kvaratskhelia or Kvaradana, if you rather.
Okay, shut the fuck up.
Well, we'll see if Napoli's TikTok account makes any type of mentions about this game here, as they have caused quite a stir over there. Going to another team with the baby blue color. It is Manchester City versus, I think this is a pretty exciting game here, RB Leipzig, who have been in some pretty good form. Just got a draw against Bayern Munich this weekend. Guys, Man City's like vulnerable. Could it be three in a row here? Nick?
I like Leipzig to win this game. I think Man City's going to rotate in preparation for this Arsenal game. Um, so and I believe it's in Germany. I could be wrong. But for my Red Bull Arena. For my money, I don't think Holland starts. Or at least doesn't get the full 90. Yeah, I don't know. I don't love City in this game. Rodri will be back, so we'll say, you know what? No, I'm being a moron. 2-1 Man City. I'll take Man City.
Oh, you
Scratch
fucker.
everything I just said. Scratch it. Yeah, shut up. I'm
Building
not
a
talking.
real hot take
liar.
there for a
Yeah,
second.
never mind. 2-1 Man City.
I'll join you
Yeah,
on everything you said.
I'm more of a Monster guy than Red Bull anyway. That's my beverage of choice. So I think Manchester City's going to have a little bit of frustration that they're going to take out on Leipzig here. If
Actually,
Holland does
good
start,
though.
which I expect him to, he loves scoring against them. He loves scoring against German teams, and he definitely loves scoring against Leipzig. 5 goals last year. Yeah, I like City to beat the shit out of them. 3-0.
Damn.
Yeah, I think Man City comes back and wins this. I do think Leipzig can put up a fight, but I think it's still probably like a 3-1 type of game here that Man City's going to show that they're still Man City. And now we go to a team where still in Manchester, but boy, this one has a whole lot of a different feeling in terms of how they might do. It's Manchester United versus Galatasaray. I don't think Galatasaray has been as impressive as their signings and roster maybe has them believing they should be so far, but Manchester United also has not been as good as maybe they should be so far. Do we think there's an upset potential here for Manchester United?
There's potential for an upset. I'll go for a draw. Um, they're definitely going to lose in Turkey. Like, there's no way they leave there with anything. But yeah, I saw somewhere Galatasaray is not in good form. And I mean, it's Man U. At a certain point, Tuesday nights, you got to believe in them at least a little bit. And I'm not that scared of a Turkish league team. So,
Yeah, what's
um,
that?
yeah, I'll say 1-0 Man U. Not even a draw. 1-0 Man U.
Keep changing your mind over there, dude. What's happening?
Just thinking through things.
You a low-key Manchester fan?
No, it's like if they're gonna keep being shitty in the Premier League, at least they get like like a result midweek.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't watch any Turkish league. I don't really know how Galatasaray is doing.
You
But
don't?
Manchester United, we know how they're doing. Um, but I ride with what Nick says. They're at home. They have the fans. The fans are going to be bitching. Um, and Manchester United's going to lose whatever support they have left if they lose this game. So I'll take them to win a scrappy 1-0 with a goal from the main man, Samiro. Probably a header.
Yeah, I think it's very Manchester United to be up against the wall, get a 1-0 win, and then put yourself back up against the wall in your next game. So I think they win this one 1-0 and get one step away from the hot seat before they take another two back in their next game that they'll end up losing probably. But then we have our final one that we added in here for our good friend Nick. I don't think this one is
Yeah,
necessarily the banger of the year, but it is Arsenal versus
yeah.
Lens. Lens. I don't know how to properly pronounce it, but I don't know if I have
Lens.
to. I'm pretty sure Arsenal will win this one. I'm gonna go 3-0.
Oh, I think that flatters us a little bit. It's in France. I'm expecting a pretty rotated squad to prepare for this Man City game. So I'll go Arsenal with enough, but we'll say 1 to 2-0. I'll say 2-0.
Hmm.
Lens right now is in 15th in Ligue 1, so I don't know
I'll
if that
I'll go
is
Not
too
3-0.
good. Yeah, I took him to, I think, finish runner-up in Ligue 1 this year, so not a great start there.
Yeah,
Some
he's stupid.
Yeah, I
But
some
was zero
some work
foresight
to
on
do.
that.
Some work to do. Some say that maybe my French league football is not super accurate. Maybe I'm lacking a little bit of
I
knowledge.
did pick Monaco to win, and they are still in first. Also, Lyon
Lyon's
and
in
last.
18th.
Oh,
The hell are they doing? Yeah. Is Lacazette? I think
Lacazette.
he is hurt. I haven't seen him in the squad recently. Um, yeah, Arsenal should take care of business. Whoever they put out there, they should take care of business. They could put out a B team, um,
it's
for
gonna
all
be like a C
intents.
team. It's gonna be a it's gonna be a rotated
Yeah.
team, I'm
Are
pretty
we
sure.
gonna see
Still enough.
Mo El Neni out there, the Egyptian king?
Yeah, I think he could get a start. Honestly, they'll probably give Jorginho the start, but I could see him maybe getting on at some point for sure.
Man, I saw him on the
Jorginho,
bench the other
young
day, and I
player.
had no idea he was still on your guys' roster. I said, "Is
He
that El
hasn't.
Neni?"
That was his first game in the Carabao Cup that he didn't even start, but that was his first game in like 3 years. Like
Damn, that's bad. He's probably
yeah, well,
getting
he's
paid
been
a
really
lot,
injured.
so it doesn't
He
really.
is he's like the ultra locker room guy, so I'm happy they keep renewing his contract even though he knows he's not going to play. I love it.
He's
Is
a
he
Christian
your
Robban of our.
longest tenured player?
Might be Reece Nelson actually.
Okay, but close.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
Reece
take
remember
Arsenal.
Reece broke into the team at
Arsenal
like
3-1.
17. 3-1.
Okay,
All right, I like
3-1.
it.
Yep.
Well, there's some other Champions League games. Not too many big headlines. Paul, if you just want to scroll through some of them so people can see. But we are going to be, while he's scrolling through, introducing our new segment. Ding, ding, ding. The Footy Stock Exchange is open. In this segment,
You're
we are going to tell you
Bye,
what
bye,
to
bye.
buy, what to sell. And we're going to start with our stockbroker, Nico, over here. Nick, what are we buying? What are we selling? Where's our financial advice?
Listen, if you're looking for like a fantasy Premier League fix, I like Emil Smith Rowe. He got on. This might be a bit of a homer pick. He's one of my favorite Arsenal players, but he's looked very sharp the last couple of times that he's played. Missed a goal that he probably should have scored, but then came back with an absolute
Definitely should have
stunner of a
scored.
shot. Yeah, for sure. It was a good save, but he still should have scored. But came back with a stunner of a shot that Neto also had a great save on. He was clearly very sad to not score, but again, him, Martinelli, and Saka dragged us out the mud, and I think like at that point he was the best of the three of them. So he's our number 10 for the reason. I think he's gonna start showing it this year with all the rotation that's gonna have to happen. I am very excited to have him back, and he's looking back to what he used to be. So I'd buy stock in Emil Smith Rowe. I'm selling on Crystal Palace, believe it or not. I just think they were fortunate because
They beat Man U.
they beat a shitty team,
All right. I
So,
like it.
like, I'm
They beat the
selling.
top 16.
This Jean-Philippe Mateta guy like looks like just all limbs and strength. Like he is not the answer for your number 9. I was less impressed with them this weekend, honestly. Joachim Anderson scored a banger of a goal, but like that's not necessarily something you can rely on. Man U's defense was like heavily rotated. Like Lindelof and Amrabat were part of that back four. So to not get the creativity out of a guy like Eze and some of the other players they have. I'm selling stock in Crystal Palace. They're top 10 right now. I like them finishing closer to 20th than I do to 10.
Nick, you are a smart man to sell high there. I don't think they'll necessarily be too much higher than a big win like that. We move over to our other financial expert, our advisor, Michael. What are we buying? What are we selling?
Let me put on my suit and tie real quick.
Oh,
My analysts are telling me they're very bullish on buying a Luton Town jersey for lots of reasons. All right. The fan base, the town, the stadium, the fact that they just beat Everton. There's a lot of reasons to buy a Luton Town jersey right now. And I'd recommend buy. Sell your Everton kits. Yep.
Buy the hype.
And not only do you sell your Everton kit this week, you sell Beto. You sell our new striker. I said it before. I'll say it again. Doesn't belong at the
That's so
club.
harsh.
I have a proposition for you, Nick.
Yeah,
You're not much of an Eddie Nketiah guy. We'd love him. We would love to have him at Goodison. We'll give you Beto. Unproven.
dude.
Could be good. Really tall.
Could be good.
Really tall.
Listen, I'm pretty sure he has a
6'4".
quote. He has a quote somewhere out there where he's like, "I'm not really that good of a footballer, so I just try really hard." And he's like huge.
Yeah, that's what he said. We bought him, and his like first statement was, "I'm not the most gifted of players, but I work really, really hard."
I swear to
Sean
God,
Becker,
I
yeah,
wouldn't,
I
that is what
respect
we
that.
I
need.
wouldn't hate that deal if I'm Arsenal. Just like do that swap. Eddie, I think would do really well at Everton. And just keep Beto as
Love
your third striker. Like whatever, still buy someone else, but I wouldn't hate it.
All right,
I would hate it if I were you because I
give
don't think
Mikel
you
the
watch
call.
enough data. If you watch Beto, you would not be saying these same things.
Guys, you're being harsh on Beto. He's been in the Premier
I
League
am.
for like 5 weeks.
I am. I actually like the guy. The interviews I've seen, he seems like a good dude. I'm being really harsh on him,
Wait a minute.
but
He's 25.
no results on
Yeah,
the
He
pitch.
looks
You
45.
know, he does. He could have lied
He's
about his birth certificate. Yeah. Look how he fits that
Yeah,
jersey, though. Look at that top right picture. That's a lot of neck.
that's a
A
lot of
lot of
man,
neck for
bro.
that's why
not
the
being able
hair's
to
going
score ahead.
over.
That's a whole lot of
You need a
man.
skyscraper. That
Poor guy.
neck
Hopefully he
cannot move
turns it
down. That
around.
just goes up and up. Go
Flags,
gadget.
what you got?
Extendo neck. I have been talking to some financial experts, and we are so excited to announce that we will be encouraging all of you guys to buy every other team's chances in the top four of beating Manchester City. Because if Wolves can do it, fuck it, anybody can do it. They have looked miserable for the first however many games this season, and they just beat Manchester City. If they can do it, they have provided a blueprint. Let's have some other teams do it. If Luton can beat a team, a stronghold like Everton, anybody can beat anyone. It's a crapshoot. We love it. Every other team has a chance now. There are in the top six. It is all separated by one game. So
Hell
we
yeah.
are buying everybody else. Put in your bets now. But we will be selling to make room for all that buying, and it will be any medical staff that is associated with an American player. Because goddamn is about all you need to say. Tyler Adams got re-injured because he played versus Stoke on a Wednesday in the Carabao Cup. Was that worth it? The answer is
Dude,
immediately no. Gio Reyna has.
hindsight, why are you playing Tyler Adams against Stoke? Like, what are we doing?
Not
Bro,
everybody can do it in Stoke.
I don't
Yeah,
Not
it turns
know.
everybody
out
can do
Tyler
it.
Adams can't.
The U.S. team has so many goddamn injuries. I just want a healthy team. Honestly, this has been one of the more healthy stretches because Gio Reyna's kind of been internally hurt, and he's somewhat healthy now. And Tyler Adams has also been internally hurt, but we still have other players. I'm not going to say names because I will not jinx anything else. Well, there's one of those names that usually pops up. Yeah, medical staffs around the world. God, why are you putting these players out? Messi's also injured right now. Come on, guys. Let's sell medical staffs. Let's get into some Eastern medicine. Let's get in some crazy shit. See what happens. It cannot get worse. Daryl DK has not been healthy in so long. That man is meant for the championship and absolutely runs it. And that's it. That's what I'm selling. Mike,
I like it.
Nick, any closing thoughts for us today? Leave the listeners with something that you guys want them to know. A little thought piece, perhaps.
I say, last buy your stock in Arsenal while you can, because let me tell you, come May, Premier League champs, baby.
I like my buys. I like my sells. Do not listen to me for financial advice. Do not put real money on these bets. You could lose it all, and I do not want to be responsible.
Especially
Mike's
if Flags is
Manchester
the one making
City
the bets.
down and bets
are
on
not
it,
invincible.
restaurants. Any money should not be placed on Luton. We are not financial advisors, but maybe we will be for our next episode. You'll have to listen, subscribe, hit the follow button to find out. Until next time, boys. Peace out.
Peace, gentlemen.